Are you terrible at corner geometry? Are you terrible at area under the graph? Then this paper could be for you. A paper that is somewhat unusual but then fair. Find out why in today's episode of PPR. Alright, welcome back to another video. This is Yao from Vantage Tutor, a class above the rest, and for today's Prelim Paper review, it is for the A Math students. It is from 2024 CHIJ St Theresa Convent A Math Paper 1. Now before I begin, these are the questions that I feel are insightful and probably worth your time to try. And for students who like to download this paper, you are invited to join my Telegram channel where I've uploaded a short summary along with a download link on my blog. Have a go at it, let me know how you did. And for students who like to join me, I have opened a tuition center near Boon Keng. It is at 1102A Serangoon Road. Trial classes have started, open classes have started. The link is in the bio. I'll see you there. Firstly, this paper was surprisingly insightful, but in an unusual way. Why? Find out via my 3 matrices. Number 1, relevance. Number 2, insightfulness. Number 3, difficulty. Before I give an overall score and recommend to you the type of students who should try this paper. And of course, if I had a student who had to sit for this paper under exam condition, what would be a fair expectation of him from me in order for him to score an A in his actual O-levels? Firstly, relevance. Most of the questions here seem like what you expect. And they have small twists here and there, but I will speak about them more in the insightfulness. But most of the questions, you would have seen practice questions on them before, whether it's 10-year series or even your homework. You have done them at least 5 to 20 times if you have done revision. But the thing about this paper is some of the questions, especially at the start, you can see right through them. You know what's the techniques required, but then they just add a negative sign, put some fractions in there, then it becomes a bit more tedious and you need to be a bit more aware in terms of preventing careless mistakes. But generally, the flow of the questions that you expect to see are in there, and the ones that you do not expect to see, they are the insightful one, but in a very unusual way. Overall, the relevance of this paper will be given a rather solid 7 out of 10. Next, insightfulness. This paper is insightful for reasons that I did not expect. You would think a teacher like me would have seen most of the questions, and I have, right? But some of the questions here are creative and at the same time, just unusual. For example, the corner geometry question, the area under the graph question. Not something that you would expect. At the same time, you will know some of the questions that are a bit creative. You kind of see what they are trying to drive at. But these questions, you see what they are trying to drive at, but you seem to not understand why they phrase it like this, why they crafted the question like this. It's not that the questions are not good, it just feels a bit weird, it feels a bit unusual, but ultimately you can solve them. And this is great if you're practicing for your O-levels where sometimes unexpected questions will come out and you need to be able to learn on the spot. As much as I find the questions unusual, this paper has to be given a higher than usual for insightfulness. The insightfulness of this paper will be given a more than solid 8 out of 10. Next, difficulty. Most of the questions here, like I said, you can see right through them. The only concern is maybe there are fractions, there are negative signs that you need to take note of, and therefore when you go through your algorithm, when you're calculating, be a bit more aware. You may lose 1 or 2 marks, but nothing to really take away significant marks from you. There are challenges in this paper and they come in the form of the insightful questions that appear very, very odd to me. It's not that you can't solve them, but you just feel that it's weird and maybe you don't feel confident solving them. But I'm sure you can see how to solve it. You just need to go through it and at the same time you're second guessing yourself. But majority of the paper, easily 70% of the paper, are things that you have seen before. If you have done your practice, you probably can finish some time ahead. Time management wouldn't be a problem, the flow of the paper wouldn't be a problem. Most questions are direct and concise, with some questions requiring a bit of learning on the spot. And hence, the difficulty of this paper will be given a somewhat above average 6.5 out of 10. Overall, this just feels like a weird paper to me. It's not that I don't like it, but it just feels very odd and in a sense unexpected. However, this paper definitely has its utility. As I've said, you are going to learn as you do the paper. You're going to have to develop the skill of picking up different things as you do the paper. You're going to learn as you do the paper. And therefore, the overall score of this paper will be given a slightly below average 4 out of 10. And if I had a student who had to sit for this paper under exam condition, a fair expectation of her from me would be 75% in order for her to score an A in her actual O-levels. And finally, who would I recommend this paper to? I recommend this paper to most students, even the weaker ones. And maybe some of you will share the same consensus as me in terms of the questions that I highlighted to be a bit odd and unusual. As much as they may appear different, most of you should be able to solve it. And for those who are unable to solve it right now, maybe after a bit more practice, after talking to your friends, you probably can figure out the answer, or as you do the paper, you learn how to solve such a question. And that in itself is the beauty of this paper. In a sense, bougie, and then you learn to appreciate it from a different angle. And hence, if you are a student who is going to take your A Math and looking for a bit of creativity and a bit of unusualness in the question, and you want it as a time practice in order to develop the skill of learning as you go through an exam, this paper could be for you. Alright, so we have come to the end of this Prelim Paper review of 2024 CHIJ St Theresa Convent A Math Paper 1. Now if you like what I'm doing, follow me on TikTok, like my video, comment and share with your friends. I'm sure this will help them because ultimately I'm on my way to 10,000 followers. And for students who like to try this paper, you are invited to join my Telegram channel where I've uploaded a short summary along with a download link on my blog. Have a go at it, let me know how you did. And of course, for students who are looking to join me, I have opened a new tuition center and it is near Boon Keng MRT 1102A Serangoon Road. Link is in the bio, I'll see you there. Nothing else. This is your love from Vantage Tutor, a class above the rest. Take care.